Okay, so let's unpack this. Have you ever felt like your home is just, I don't know, a collection of unfinished tasks?
Like a visual to-do list.
Exactly. A perpetual to-do list kind of lurking in piles,
Yeah.
right? On counters, chairs, maybe even the floor.
Oh, definitely.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a remarkably simple home system. It's designed to save you hours each week and, maybe more importantly, cut down that mental clutter, often without you really even noticing.
Sound promising.
It's called the one-touch rule. And our mission here is really to give you a shortcut, a way to understand how this powerful, simple rule can change how you interact with, well, everything in your space. Keys, laundry, mail, the works, transforming your daily flow.
I like the sound of transforming the daily flow.
Yeah, because we've all been there, right? That
Yeah.
moment you walk in the door, you feel that relief after a long day, and then
And the stuff starts landing.
precisely, the stuff starts landing, keys on the counter, jacket gets tossed on the nearest chair, the mail.
Amari.
The mail pile, the classic. It just sits there, doesn't it, waiting for later. And later often becomes, well, never, or at least 3 more touches from now.
Right. Pick it up, put it down, pick it up again.
I actually read a survey once that found the average person touches their mail at least 3 times before it's finally dealt with.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
It really highlights this multi-touch trap we fall into.
it really does. You pick up those keys again, maybe move them somewhere else temporarily, and eventually, maybe, put them in their final spot, your jacket.
Move from the chair to the hook eventually.
Maybe days later. And those groceries, they get put on the floor, then picked up again and put away later. That's like 2, 3, even 4 separate interactions with the same item.
And every single extra touch is wasted motion.
Wasted motion, wasted time. And it just adds this little bit of mental clutter. It causes items to just sit there and pile up. It's exhausting.
It really is. So what's the alternative?
So what's the elegant simplicity of the solution? It's the one-touch rule. The core idea is pretty straightforward. Whenever you handle an item, you commit to touching it only once before it lands in its final designated home.
Only once, so no intermediate stops.
Exactly. No drop and deal with it later. Think about it. When you walk in with mail, you immediately sort it. Junk goes straight into recycling, bills into their spot, whatever your system is.
Right then and there.
Right then and there. When you take off your jacket, it goes directly into the closet or onto a hook, not draped over the nearest chair like some kind of temporary sculpture.
Goodbye, chair, drobe.
Exactly. And when you're done with the dish, straight into the dishwasher, not the sink to wait for its friends to join the party.
Okay, I see. It cuts out those middle steps.
It fundamentally cuts out all those intermediate steps where things just naturally accumulate. It keeps your space clearer, and maybe more importantly, your mind feels lighter.
What's truly fascinating here isn't just the physical tidiness, which is great. It's the profound cognitive shift
Huh.
the one-touch rule triggers.
Okay, tell me more about that.
We're talking about decision efficiency at its core. Every item you leave unresolved, every little micro decision you punt down the road.
Like, I'll deal with that later.
Exactly. That isn't just a physical mess waiting to be cleaned up. It's like a tiny open tab in your brain's browser. It's still running in the background.
Okay. Eating up resources.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Psychology actually has a name for this. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, our minds are hardwired to remember, and yes, even stress over incomplete tasks.
So my brain is actually nagging me about that pile of mail.
In a way, yes. Researchers have found people recall unfinished tasks much more vividly than completed ones. It's your brain's little reminder system pushing you until it's done.
Wow.
So the one-touch rule immediately eliminates these open loops. You act, it's done, the loop is closed, you move on.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and that's not just saving you physical steps like walking back to the coat closet. It's saving significant mental energy. By closing those loops immediately, you're actively freeing up precious cognitive resources.
Resources you could use for, well, anything else.
For higher level thinking, for creativity, for problem-solving things that truly matter, instead of constantly reminding yourself to put the keys away.
So our brains are literally holding on to these tiny little tasks, draining mental energy without us even realizing it sometimes.
That's a great way to put it.
It perfectly explains why coming home to clutter can feel so draining, even if you can't quite put your finger on why.
But okay, what about tasks that aren't so quick? Like, does this rule only apply to these tiny interactions, putting keys away, sorting mail, or can we scale this idea?
That's a fantastic question, and it really points to the deeper power here. While the Zeigarnik effect, that nagging feeling, is most acutely felt with those smaller, lingering tasks,
Right.
The underlying principle of immediately closing the loop extends across the board. Think of it more like liberating your cognitive bandwidth.
Okay.
So for genuinely big projects, you still apply the one-touch concept, but maybe to each subtask or component as it comes across your desk, so to speak.
So processing the parts of it. Exactly. You process that email about the project once. You decide its next immediate action. Maybe it's file it, maybe it's delegate it, maybe it's add a task to your list, and then you get it out of your inbox.
Instead of letting it sit there staring at you.
Right. Instead of letting it sit in your inbox as this constant looming reminder of an unfinished mega task, it's about not letting the small pieces of a larger puzzle create their own separate mental burdens along the way.
That mental liberation sounds incredibly appealing, seriously. So the big question then is, how do we actually start? How do we begin retraining our brains to close those loops automatically?
Yeah. How do you make it a habit?
Right. So what does this all mean for you, listening right now? It might sound a bit counterintuitive, but the key is actually starting incredibly small. Don't try to overhaul your entire house overnight.
That would be overwhelming.
Totally overwhelming. So first step, pick just one zone. Maybe it's your entryway, that first place things land,
Huh.
or the kitchen counter, or just your desk. Get that one area dialed in first.
Focus is key.
Second, pair it with a trigger. Make the action automatic by linking it to something you already do. For example, the trigger is walking in the door. The action is immediately put away each item you carried in using the one-touch rule.
So the trigger prompts the new habit.
Exactly. Keys in the bowl, coat on the hook, mail sorted, bam, bam, bam. And finally, and this is important, reward the win.
Acknowledge the success.
Yes. At the end of the day, take just a moment to notice how tidy that chosen area looks. Notice how little catch-up work was needed there. You'll quickly feel how satisfying it is to avoid those pile-ups altogether.
That positive reinforcement really helps solidify the habit.
Definitely. It makes you want to keep doing it.
And, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to see how the one-touch rule isn't just some standalone hack. It's really a foundational principle.
How so?
Well, it amplifies other productivity systems beautifully. When you start stacking the one-touch rule with other simple microsystems, things like, say, the 2-minute rule.
Oh yeah, the one where if something takes less than 2 minutes, you just do it immediately.
Exactly that one. Or maybe you have a simple evening reset routine. When you combine these, you create this powerful synergy.
Okay, walk me through that. How do they stack?
Okay, so imagine you pick up that piece of mail. That's your one touch. The rule kicks in.
Right.
Then you glance at it. Is sorting it into recycling or your bills to pay folder going to take less than 2 minutes? Almost certainly yes.
Usually, yeah.
So the 2-minute rule triggers. You do it immediately. See, they aren't separate rules you have to remember. They kind of chain together naturally.
Ah, creating a seamless flow and reducing that decision fatigue we talked about.
Precisely. You're not constantly deciding when to do these little things. The system handles it.
So it's really not just about tidiness then, is it? It's about designing a system for living that cuts down on decisions and frees up our most valuable resource, our attention.
That's the core benefit, I think.
It sounds incredibly efficient. But I have read some arguments, that for certain tasks, a batching approach can be better, where you collect similar items like all the bills or all the errands and then deal with them all at once to save time. How does the one-touch rule fit with that idea? Does it contradict it?
That's a great observation, and it really highlights the nuance here. It's not really a contradiction. The one-touch rule isn't about eliminating batching altogether, but about optimizing when and how you batch.
Okay, optimizing how?
With the one-touch rule, you still touch that item, say, a bill, just once initially, but that one touch involves making the immediate decision. Is this an action now? Is it trash? Or does it belong in a specific designated batching location?
So the one touch is the triage step.
Exactly. It could be a dedicated to process tray for all papers that need more attention later, or the laundry hamper for clothes, which is essentially a batching container. The key is that the item doesn't just sit randomly.
It's not just dropped on the counter to be batched later.
Correct. It's immediately triaged to its next logical step, even if that step is way here, in this specific spot, to be batched properly with similar items. This prevents that pre-batching clutter, where items pile up in limbo all over the house.
Creating that visual noise and cognitive debt?
Before you even get to the actual organized batching session. So your home stops being this landscape of pending to-dos.
And becomes more of a supportive ecosystem.
That's a perfect way to put it. It becomes a supportive ecosystem that flows. That's where the real transformation lies, I think. You're no longer constantly managing clutter and fighting fires. You're automating the flow,
Freeing up that mental energy.
redirecting your mental energy towards the pursuits that genuinely matter, the things that move your life forward.
It sounds simple, but potentially really profound. So we really encourage you listening. Try the one-touch rule. Maybe starting today or this week.
Just give it a shot.
Yeah, pick just one room, maybe one category of item like mail, or even just commit for 1 week. See what happens, handle things once, put them where they belong right away. Immediately.
Immediately, and just watch how it changes both your physical space and, maybe more surprisingly, your stress levels.
And this raises, I think, an important question to ponder. Imagine how much lighter, how much more intentional your entire day, your entire flow could feel if every single item in your life, physical or even digital, found its true home on the very first try.